What's the worst accusation someone's ever made against you? I was fired from my dream job, evicted from my apartment, and had my bank accounts frozen, all because a woman I'd never met told the FBI I was running an international money laundering operation. It started 3 months ago when I matched with someone named Rebecca on a professional networking app. She said she was a marketing consultant looking to collaborate on a project. We messaged back and forth for 2 weeks about brand strategies and potential clients. Nothing felt off. She seemed knowledgeable, professional, asked good questions. Then she suggested we meet for coffee to discuss a real opportunity. I showed up at the cafe downtown, waited 45 minutes, but Rebecca never came. I figured she got cold feet or something came up. I sent a polite message saying no worries, maybe another time, and moved on with my life. 2 days later, I'm in the middle of a presentation to my company's biggest client when my phone starts blowing up. Texts from my mom, my brother, my college roommate all asking if I'm okay, if I need a lawyer, what the hell is going on. I ignored them and finished the presentation, but my hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the clicker. During the lunch break, I finally checked my messages. My mom had sent screenshots. Rebecca had posted on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere claiming I'd scammed her out of $47,000. She said we'd been business partners, that I'd convinced her to invest in a cryptocurrency venture, then disappeared with her money. She posted what looked like bank statements, text message screenshots, even a contract with my forged signature. I didn't know any Rebecca. We'd never discussed money. We'd never even met in person. But her posts were going viral. Thousands of shares, hundreds of comments calling me a thief, a con artist, a fraud. People were posting my work address, my phone number, photos of my apartment building. Someone found my employer's contact information and tagged them repeatedly. I called Rebecca immediately. "What are you doing? We never had any business deal. I've never taken money from you." Her voice was ice cold. "You're going to pay me $50,000 by Friday, or I'm going to the police." "For what? I don't owe you anything." "Figure it out," she said, then hung up. I tried calling back 17 times. She'd blocked me. I went straight to HR to explain. Showed them our message history, all innocent networking conversations, nothing about investments or money. But my manager was already in the office with the VP of operations. They'd seen Rebecca's posts. A client had called asking if they should be concerned about working with our company. "We're placing you on administrative leave pending investigation," my manager said, not making eye contact. "Investigation of what? This woman is lying." "We have to take accusations like this seriously, you understand." I was escorted out by security that afternoon, told to hand over my laptop and keycard. Coworkers stared as I walked past with my box of desk stuff, whispering to each other. The next morning, 2 FBI agents knocked on my door at 6 a.m. Special Agents Morrison and Chen. They had a warrant to search my apartment and seize my electronics. "We've received a complaint about international wire fraud and money laundering," Morrison said, already pushing past me. "From Rebecca? She's insane. I've never—" "Sir, we need you to step outside while we conduct the search." I stood in the hallway in my pajamas for 3 hours while they tore my apartment apart. My neighbors kept walking by, staring. One couple I'd been friendly with for 2 years crossed the street when they saw me. The agents took my laptop, my phone, 2 tablets, even my old desktop computer from college that I hadn't turned on in 5 years. Morrison handed me a receipt and told me not to leave the city. "How long until I get my stuff back?" "Could be weeks, could be months, depends on what we find." "You won't find anything because I didn't do anything." Chen finally looked at me with something like sympathy. "That's what they all say." Without my phone or computer, I was completely cut off. I borrowed my neighbor's phone to call my mom, but she'd already hired me a lawyer, a criminal defense attorney named Patricia Gomez, who charged $400 an hour. "Don't talk to anyone," Patricia said when we met. "Not the FBI, not Rebecca, not your employer. Every word you say can be twisted." "But I'm innocent." "That doesn't matter if they build a case. We need to be strategic." She requested all of Rebecca's evidence through official channels. What came back made my stomach drop. Rebecca had created an entire fake paper trail. Bank statements showing wire transfers from her account to accounts in my name, except I'd never opened those accounts. Text messages between us discussing investment strategies and promising returns, except I'd never sent those messages. Photos of us together at restaurants and business meetings, except we'd never met and I'd never been to those locations. The photos were the worst part. They were clearly photoshopped, my face pasted onto someone else's body, but they looked real enough to fool most people. "How is this possible?" I asked Patricia. "She's done this before," Patricia said, sliding a folder across her desk. I did some digging. Rebecca Martin isn't even her real name. She's actually Vanessa Cho, and she's run this scam on at least 4 other people in different states. Then why isn't she in jail? She's good, really good. She creates just enough evidence to make accusations, demands payment to make it go away, then disappears before cases go to trial. The FBI has a file on her, but they've never been able to make charges stick. So what do I do? We prove your innocence and hope the FBI figures out she's lying before your life is completely destroyed. Too late for that. My landlord called the next day. Someone had sent him Rebecca's posts, along with an anonymous tip that I was running illegal operations from the apartment. He was invoking the morality clause in my lease and giving me 30 days to vacate. My bank froze my accounts. Something about suspicious activity flagged by federal investigators. I couldn't access my own money to pay rent or hire lawyers or even buy groceries. I had $200 cash in my wallet and nothing else. My credit cards got declined at the grocery store, at the gas station, at the pharmacy when I tried to pick up my prescription medications for anxiety that was now through the roof. Patricia managed to get an emergency hearing to unfreeze my accounts, but the judge said there was probable cause to believe the money might be proceeds from fraud. He'd review it again in 60 days. 60 days. I was sleeping on my brother's couch, borrowing his old phone, applying for unemployment, and watching my entire life disappear because of a woman I'd never actually met. The worst part was how quickly people believed her. Friends I'd known for years stopped returning calls. My college alumni group removed me as a member. Someone spray-painted scammer across my car in the apartment parking lot. I filed a police report about the vandalism, but the officer who took my statement had already seen Rebecca's posts online. "Maybe you should just pay the lady back," he said. "I don't owe her anything. She's lying." He shrugged. "That's for the courts to decide." 2 weeks later, my employer officially terminated me. Not for the fraud accusations, they were careful about that, but for violation of company social media policy, because I'd allegedly brought negative attention to the brand. I tried to explain that I was the victim, but the HR director cut me off. "We've made our decision. You have the right to appeal through the employee handbook process." The appeal took 3 months. They denied it in a 2-sentence email. Meanwhile, Rebecca kept escalating. She filed a civil lawsuit against me for the $47,000 plus interest and emotional damages. Her lawyer sent a letter to my parents' house. I don't know how she got that address, threatening to garnish any wages I might earn in the future. Patricia said the civil suit was actually good news. It means we can depose her, get her on record lying under oath. The deposition happened in a small conference room downtown. Rebecca showed up in an expensive suit with perfect makeup, looking like a successful businesswoman who'd been wronged. I hadn't showered in 2 days and was wearing my brother's old polo shirt. Patricia questioned her for 4 hours. Rebecca had an answer for everything. Detailed stories about meetings we'd supposedly had, phone calls we'd allegedly shared, promises I'd apparently made. "When did you first meet Mr. Harrison in person?" Patricia asked. "June 15th, at the Greenhouse Cafe," Rebecca said smoothly. "He was late, ordered a black coffee, and we discussed the cryptocurrency project for 2 hours. What did he say specifically about returns?" "He guaranteed 40% returns within 6 months. He showed me charts and projections. I trusted him. I wanted to scream that I'd never been to the Greenhouse Cafe in my life, but Patricia had told me to stay quiet. After the deposition, Patricia pulled me aside. "She's coached. Someone trained her well." "So what now?" "We wait for the FBI to finish their investigation. If they're smart, they'll see through her lies." But 3 months passed with no word from the FBI. I was still living on my brother's couch, working a night shift stocking shelves at a warehouse, because it was the only job I could get without passing a background check. My brother's wife started making comments about when I was planning to get my own place. My brother would defend me, but I could see the strain it was putting on their marriage. I applied for 47 jobs in my field, got 2 interviews. Both times, the interviewer clearly Googled me beforehand because they'd ask subtle questions about handling workplace ethics situations or maintaining professional integrity. I never got called back. Then Rebecca showed up at my brother's house. I was home alone, doing laundry in the basement, when the doorbell rang. Through the window, I saw a woman matching Rebecca's photos from online. My first instinct was to hide, but then I got angry. This woman had destroyed my entire life with lies, and I'd never even confronted her face to face. I opened the door with my phone recording. "What do you want?" She smiled. "I wanted to see if you'd reconsidered my offer." "What offer? You mean your extortion?" "I mean the opportunity to make this go away, $50,000, and I drop everything. The lawsuit, the FBI complaint, all of it. I don't have $50,000. You got me fired. You got me evicted. You froze my bank accounts." "Then borrow it. Ask your family. I really don't care how you get it." "Why are you doing this?" For just a second, her mask slipped. Something cold and empty showed through. "Because I can," she said. "Because people like you think you're so smart with your fancy job and your nice apartment, but you're so easy to destroy. One phone call, a few fake documents, and your whole life falls apart. But I never did anything to you. You existed," she said. "You matched my profile. Single, late 20s, white-collar job, active social media. That's all I needed." She turned to leave, then looked back. "You've got 1 more week. After that, I'm filing criminal charges for cyberstalking. I've already got the evidence created." The recording was perfect. Clear audio of her admitting the whole thing was fabricated. I sent it to Patricia immediately. She contacted the FBI and the prosecutor handling the civil case. 2 days later, the FBI raided Rebecca's apartment in Phoenix. They found hard drives full of evidence, hundreds of fake documents targeting dozens of victims, fake bank accounts, photoshopping software with templates for creating false evidence. Special Agent Morrison called me personally. "We're dropping the investigation against you. Miss Cho is being charged with wire fraud, identity theft, and extortion. I apologize for what you've been through. Can I get my stuff back? We'll return your property within the week." The relief was so overwhelming I threw up in my brother's kitchen sink. But the damage was done. Rebecca was arrested, but my reputation was still destroyed. Employers still Googled my name and found her posts, even though they were lies. Patricia filed a defamation lawsuit on my behalf, but Rebecca had no assets. Everything was hidden in offshore accounts or belonged to shell companies we couldn't trace. "We'll probably get a judgment," Patricia said, "but you'll never collect a penny." My old employer offered me my job back, but only after I signed a release saying I wouldn't sue them for wrongful termination. I took it because I needed the paycheck. My first day back, coworkers avoided eye contact. Nobody apologized for believing the lies. Nobody acknowledged what I'd been through. 6 months later, Rebecca pleaded guilty to federal charges and got 8 years in prison. I didn't go to the sentencing, didn't write a victim impact statement, didn't want to see her face ever again. But sometimes I still wake up at 3 a.m. in a panic, checking my phone to make sure my accounts haven't been frozen, Googling my name to see what new lies might be spreading. The FBI said Rebecca targeted me randomly. I just had the profile she was looking for. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong LinkedIn swipe. That's what I can't get over. My entire life was destroyed as a hobby for a stranger, not even for a reason, just because she could. I changed my name legally last month. New first name, new last name, new social media accounts with maximum privacy settings. Started over like I was in witness protection from my own past. Some people say I should be grateful it worked out, that I got my job back and Rebecca went to prison. But they don't understand what it's like to have everything you built for 10 years disappear in 2 weeks because someone decided to target you for fun. I don't trust anyone anymore. Every new connection, every networking message, every friendly conversation, I'm waiting for it to be another Rebecca. Another person who'll twist my words and manufacture evidence and destroy everything I have. My therapist says that's trauma, says I need to work through it. But how do you work through knowing that your entire existence can be erased by a stranger's whim? That evidence and truth don't matter as much as who tells the better story. Rebecca's in prison, but I'm still living with what she did, still explaining gaps in my resume, still getting anxious when someone I don't know wants to meet for coffee, still checking over my shoulder. Thanks for listening to all this. Hit that like button if you made it this far, it actually helps more than you'd think.